Gonna make the profiles boom, 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 boom. What it is, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is, man. What it is real life, real talk by someone who really did that. 3 yards, 4 yards, no 1 yards. Oh my, right? I really did that shit. What it isn't is added preservatives. No frivolous talk just to be talking. You think we do this for fakes? Nah, homie, chill. We do this for real because we be shaking them up, breaking them off. Papa got a bulletproof vest, Glock 10, and a chopper. I go 6 it. Sick of the head, some steak before retarded. They got hollow, plain hot ones dipped in garlic. Orale. As you can tell by that thumbnail, Simon, homes, the San Fernando Valle. I had to break out the fucking sureño had it todo. Don't. Orale, SFV, man, 818. Ain't nothing scarier than a motherfucker coming from the 818 with a pit bull terrier. Straight up real talk. The essays be real over there on Peru, right? They be real. I got a lot of respect for the 818, for the San Fernando Valle. Now, this is an area that's never slept on, homes, but quietly as it's kept, they've been out there rocking. They've been out there doing their thing. And I've done a lot of time with vatos from Pacoima, right, in particular. When it comes to the 818, when it comes to that area, man, Paca, stand up, respects, homes, the utmost. Coming from a vato from a norte, Simon, homes. I'm not the representamos of the norte ain't for me, but at the same time, homes, coming from a Chicano, from up north, I will say, man, I got a lot of respect for the San Fernando Valle. Now, and I got a couple stories I want to tell. Because I like telling stories. When the wind blows, I tell stories. I'm a storyteller. Orale. Only true and actual and factual. ¿Sabes qué? Dispensa la tira. It'd be like that. At the end of the day, one of the strong clicas and the strong carros that I ran into was the 818 while incarcerated. That ranfla right there was always with the activities. They was always in some type of shit. ¿Sabes qué? The San Fernando Valle. Now, I always thought that the SGV, San Gabriel Valle and the San Fernando Valle was the same shit. I didn't know. But you gotta understand from up north, like where we Bay Area wiggle and we Valley giggle, right? That's what we do. So I didn't really know about the different valles when it comes to the Los Angeles area, you know? And then, of course, I quickly became accustomed and indoctrinated to know. So I was like, there's differences. Orderly, you got the SGV with the vatos that are maintaining and wiggling in a real way, in a real fashion over there. And then, of course, you got the San Fernando Valle. Now, having familia, Simon, again, you know what I mean? Family that lived once upon a time in the city of Pacas, Pacoima. I will tell you, the project gang was real. The project, Simon, Savage, I had familia in the projects as well. You know what I mean? Orderly. Yes, I did. Indeed, I wrote graffiti on the bus. We used to travel to the San Fernando Valle. As a youngster, I never knew Nathan, but I did know that we used to travel to the San Fernando Valle, and I used to see a lot of old school Chicanos there, Southsiders, gangsters, homes. The wiggle was always real there. They're a very structured city. That's a very structured area in LA. Okay, Pacas, Pacoima. And I remember running into some of these vatos while incarcerated in CYA as a youngster. I was like, what's cracking with it, homes? And I see them, they had real big pacas and there was vatos from, what else? There was a couple clicas, man, out there in Pacoima, man. I'm not too sure right off the top. Pacas 13, though, was one of the main ones, vatos that I ran into. And I know that the vato was fucking about his business. And I'm going to tell you a little story. A cold story, right? There was a vato named Nono from North Hollywood Boys that was there, man. And he used to fucking kick it with televatos from the 818. I guess North Hollywood is part of that area, man, San Fernando Valle. But anyways, for the most part, these vatos would always stick together for power. They would click together. One of his taitas was from Pacas, if I recall, and I remember. And I remember people were tripping out the vato. They were tripping out the vato because the vato was on swole. This was a big-ass dude, bro. I forgot what they called him. But I know that when he got there, I was like, okay, they done did it. The Southsiders done did it. This is going to be a threat. I remember he had real big 818 on his cheston that he got from Preston. And Pacas real big on his back. And I was like, okay. And I remember chopping it up just once upon a time with the vato that knew him. He never talked to me. He was like, fuck that vato, right? He didn't want to fuck with me. But a vato, and I was like, hey, what's Pacas mean? He was like, Pacoima. I was like, orale, okay. Okay, I can see that. So, okay, to what degree I can spell it, but I can see it. You know what I mean? I'm feeling that. The wind blew. And I seen the vatos, the way he conducted himself in his get down. And I said, you know what? These motherfuckers is real out there. He had a big ass San Fernando Valle on his lower back, con un pinche tramp stamp, pero he wasn't no fuck, it wasn't. You know what I mean? And I was just looking, right? I was peeping his stilo because I liked the get down. Being from the Valle, being from the Valley, you know, Valleros are different from city boys. It's always going to be like that. It doesn't mean we're suckers. It doesn't mean we're punks. It doesn't mean we won't handle our fucking business when the time comes. Shit, we'll handle it faster. Bang, bang, right? But at the same time, when you're a Vallero, man, we got that certain type of way, a certain type of stilo. We carry ourselves more pachuco, more cholo, more gangster. Now, of course, things have changed. Seasons change. And things have definitely changed throughout the valleys in California. But for the most part, man, we still stick to that grind, 10 toes to the earth, man, same time. You know what it is. And San Fernando Valley is well-respected and world-renowned, vato, in the way that they carry themselves. Now, this vato, the reason I wanted to speak on it was, what happened was he had did something, bro. He had choked out one of his cellies. His celly was from East Side 13. No disrespect, but he got the chocalization was real, right? He got to choking him one time for his mind over a card game or something like that. This is a secondhand story. This is how I heard it, and this is how I'm going to bring it to you. So the choke game was real. Orale, you know what I mean? On fucking light, what is that fucking called? Different Shades of Gray? You know what I mean? Anyways, he choked the fuck out of him. And these vatos felt, and for no other reason, they were going to move on him. Okay, when I say move on him, they were going to hit him. And this was supposed to go down when we were leaving the chow hall. I don't know why they didn't want to do it on the compa. They didn't want to hit him in the day room or in the building. But for some reason, man, I think because this dude was so big, they wanted to be able to get Sasuke leg room and arm room. But you know what I mean? They wanted to come at him like a motherfucking smack addict back at it. So anyways, we're walking to chow. And everybody, that's just a compa, even the norteños, Spence on la tira, the dude right now is like somewhere like, fuck, hey, even you guys knew? Everybody knew what was going down. We were just waiting. Vatos are looking like this without trying to be a dry snitch, right? And we get to chow. Sasuke, the chicken never tasted so bad that night. Everybody was just watching him like, pobrecito. Well, I'm going to tell you why you don't fuck with the vato from the San Fernando Valle, right? Especially from Pacas. Because as we're going back, we're waiting. All the norteños were in the back of the línea, just getting our mobilization on, right? The swivelization and the wigglization is definitely real, right? And it's about to be a Bangladesh. It's about to go downtown Julie Brown like MTV in the 80s, right? So we're just peeping out the stilo. And of course, what happens? I'm going to tell you what happened. But right now, one vato gets to poking. Right? He gets to poking. This vato turned around like un pinche Terminator. Saracana, you are. Snatched that vato up, picked him up, dubbed him on his fucking headpiece, grabbed the pedazo from him, and started doing his own dance, right? Look at every other vato that was running up, that was supposed to be placating him, that was supposed to be jumping him. Oh, they took a step back. That's it. You know what I mean? To what degree of step forward? Charlie, not to any degree, right? They took 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, and 4 steps back. What did Paul Abdul? They were gone, right? And this vato proceeded to scrape him. Bad, right? He did it, but I was like, this, would you hear me? Look at me, right? You know what I mean? This is cute. Double up, right? Game the business. And this vato from Pacas decimated this cat. I remember with the talk of the town, and I remember saying, damn, these fucking vatos from San Fernando Valley are different. You know, it's not that they fucking weren't down or they were treated differently, because the Vallero boys I noticed down south in LA were treated a little bit different. The vatos from Los, and I'm talking about like East Los, South Los, like that, they always had that swag about them, homes, where it was just like, Simon, homes, I'm from LA. And the vatos from the Valley, I tricked because they never represented LA. They never said, hey, I'm from LA. They said, I'm from Pacas, homes. You know what I mean? LA area, 818, San Fernando Valle. And I was like, okay, that's right. So I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Orale. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of real ones come from the San Fernando Valley, and they got a lot of traditions there. A lot of historia when it comes to the Chicano community. You got to understand that where you have the city life, you'll also have the valleys. And in the valleys, it's very agricultural. It's more spread out, homes. There's more, not shit to do, but more to see, if you like nature, right? And I grew up like that. You know, I grew up the same way, being a valley boy, man, being looked down upon. City boys thinking that we ain't shit, you know what I mean? And we had to show them that we know how to use one too, right? Clack, 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 allegedly. And that's just the way it's always been. And from what I've been told by motherfuckers that are from the San Fernando Valley, it's the same exact fucking way, homes. Pacoima is the same way. Now, Pacoima, the city, is legendary. But fuck yeah, but you can call it like an alcoholic. I can. They'll get off quick. They'll get off quick. There's a lot of fucking barrios from that city, Paco, from that little area. You know, I ain't never seen so many fucking barrios congested into the one area, 818. But there's a lot. It seems like every other street, every other city we go, we see the same. You know what I mean? Vatos are fucking putting it down. Now, I got a lot of love for the 818. A lot of love, right? And I'll tell you this right now, that, you know, I just see the way that they carry themselves throughout being incarcerated and the way that their carro wiggled. And I got to say, it's the utmost respects. I pay homage. Now, here's one more story about a vato from the SFV, right? I remember the vato had SF real big right here. And I thought he was from San Fran. I'm about also sometime one time for my mind. I don't know. Spell San Francisco. I bet you can, right? I don't know. So I automatically assumed he was from the Bay Area and I thought he was a homeboy. And I remember walking up on him in the Pinta. Simon. We were on our way to Chow and he was walking. Usually there's like 2 or 3 vatos walking together, but I think he was just coming out of his building to the Yarda or we're going to Chow and fucking, you know, he's going to hit the track. We're going to mob to Chow. This was in Corcoran, right? And I remember seeing him and I thought, okay, there's a homeboy because I just came out of my building too. And my celly, for some reason, they had taken him to the fucking medical. Something was wrong with the man. He was sick. So I was set up by myself for a minute. He was there for like 2 or 3 days. But so I'm coming out and usually I do the buddy system, but I'm not fucking, I was starving this shit. So I was going to beef stroganoff never sounded so good, right? So as I'm coming out, I see him and I think he's a homeboy from a different building. So I catch up to him. I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? Where you from? And he was like, order the SFV, right? And I thought he said the SFC. That's how much of a stupid ass I was that day, right? I thought he said the SFC, which would be, of course, San Francisco City, right? And I was like, that's right, carnal. And I was like, hey, what homeboys are over there? And he was like, yeah, the homeboy Greedy from 18, and the homeboy fucking Lefty from El Monte Flores, and the homeboy fucking from Violent Boys, and the homeboy from B&E. And I said, you ain't my homeboy, bro. I felt some type of way. I was like, damn, bro. But I didn't disrespect it. It was funny because we both laughed. He was like, you're a norteño, huh? I said, Simon, bro. And he was like, it's all good, bro, from San Fernando Valle. And literally, we walked and talked, right? And then, of course, he did his own thing and I did my own thing. But that's a fact. That's a fact that really took place. And I'll never forget, you know, and I gained a lot of respect that day from vatos from San Fernando Valley because I seen at that exact moment we weren't too different. You know, of course, vatos from the south and the representamos for the sur is real. You know what I mean? Vatos are, their allegiance is to what it should be. That's their cause, their people, their gente down south, homes. Because they're in the mix in the LA area, ain't nothing scary, like I said. And you got to respect that. Me being from up north, you know what I mean? Same wiggle, same way, you know, at the time. And so, just meeting people from the Valle, you know, says, yeah, I watch La Bamba. Everyone knows I'm related to Richie Islands. Richie, right? So let's get, hey, we're going to get us a house in Pacoima, right? And they did get their house in Pacoima. And Bob was around that motherfucker, mistaking you for Rosie, right? He was beating them cheeks one time for his mind. So let's get by the sweat of his balls. He was handling his business in every liquor store and every telephone pole. But I think that movie, man, brought Pacas to light. It put it on the map. Now, I know a little bit about Pacoima. You know, I've talked about my case back in the days, huh? And how the guy that originally I got caught up for was from Pacoima. He wasn't from necessarily a barrio in Pacas, but he was from the city of Pacoima, man. And he came up short that day, that night, right? It was cold that night. So I've always had Pacoima in the back of my mind. It's like fate, bro. It always brings you in full circle. And so I'm here now. It's it. The 818 is real. And people have been wondering, like, the last couple of days you've been showing love to the 818. Why is that? That's gay. Because the wind blew that way, right? And let's just say I'm going to be frequenting that area sooner than later. And that's what it is, because ain't nothing greater. But I felt that for no other reason, I'd give them their love, their respect. They're a slept-on carro. I'm talking about the 818 area. Very slept on San Fernando Valle. You'll always hear about the SGV, vatos from Pomona 12th Street Sharks, and several other gangas. You'll always hear about Islos, say, orale, Bakersfield. Hey, when I moved to Bakersfield. Even the 805 got their shit, right? You're going to hear about fucking West LA. You're going to hear about fucking Nela and Sela. And you're going to hear about San Diego stand-up, the Inland Empire, Imperial Valle, Coachella, Indio. You know what I mean? You're going to hear about all these vatos that have been wiggling the way they wiggle, right? They wiggle while they work. But you don't never really hear too much about the San Fernando Valley. And the times have changed. It's time to change, vato. Because the San Fernando Valley, man, they're fucking vicious. You know what I mean? Says, kid, what is this sticking over here? Con un pinche something? Anyways, the vatos are down. You know, and I'm not going to take nothing away from them. One more story about the San Fernando Valley is going to trip you guys out, right? And I can't say no names and I can't say no places, but I was on a yard, a particular yard that was cracking. It was cracking. The Southsiders had just came off lockdown at this time. They had got into it with the skinheads. And for those of you that automatically assume that the fucking Southsiders and the skinheads rock like that, child, for the most part, it's usually the Southsiders in the woods that rock together, you know what I mean, for power. And the skinheads are on their whole different agenda, man. You know, like you cannot approach a skinhead being a Mexicano and try to tell them something or something. They're going to feel some type of way. They fucking hate, like, you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. So anyways, there was something that had went down prior to me getting to this place, and the Southsiders were on lockdown. They were on lockdown for almost 8 months, right? So coming off lockdown, they were bringing them out cell by cell, just a little bit at a time, building for building. And the skinheads, they were doing likewise. Of course, I don't know if somewhere behind the scenes, man, they had come to some type of agreement. but shit wasn't cracking. Well, anyways, the llavero on this particular yard was a vato from the SFV. I don't know if he was from Pacoima or what exactly area he was from, but I do know that he was from the SFV. He had it fucking big on him. SFV was representing, vato, right? Little did I know that day that the fucking skinheads had something planned. They had a choice, but they chose wrong. They made a promise, G, to leave it alone. They should have, right? So anyways, the plan was they were going to hit this vato. They knew he was the llavero. They knew he was in motion. He had that yard, right? And everyone did, you know. And he was an older vato, big old fucking whip, a whippersnapper. You know what I mean? Every time you seen him, if you listened close, you heard, don't, lean like a cholo, lean like a cholo. Like one of those type of vatos. He was leaning like a cholo at all times. And I knew right off the top, I was like, oh, that fool's he's a vallero. He's from the valley. Straight up, give him his love. Put some respect on his name. Look at that Orocha right there. You ain't going to see a Orocha like that unless you're from down south. So anyways, they're mobbing and fucking, he's mobbing with a couple of his homeboys. And all of a sudden, like 10 fucking skinheads jump on them and they start whacking, right? I watched this vato single-handedly. I don't know if it's fucking something in the water out there in San Fernando Valle that makes these vatos have hands. This vato single-handedly did his thug thizzle. He did his thing, you know? And it was a wrap. It was a Rapalapagus. Gunners started shooting. Fucking yard went down. So I was down like this watching, you know what I mean? Going fucking orejas everywhere. You know what I mean? Listening, you know what I mean? I had to hear what's going on. And my fucking eyes were fucking glued to fucking what was cracking. Without being a dry snitch, because, you know, that's just the way it was that day. Anyways, fucking, the vato held his own. And I remember he was leaking his shit. And that fucking vato was handcuffed and he walked up the yarda like a fucking, this puro SFV. That's it. And I remember that day, you know, I haven't had a lot of interaction with vatos from the San Fernando Valle, but I have seen a lot of them from a distance, especially the city of Pacoima. That's a very well-versed city and very recognized. I know on YouTube, you got vatos like Savage Studio Man, that's from the Project Boys, Pacas, and people get the bad taste in their mouth concerning the individual just because of what he's done on YouTube or how they feel. At the end of the day, that's him. He's a single person, man. He doesn't represent the whole of Pacas, man. The Pacoima, what is it? The Paca projects, they're fucking with the business. They're with the activities, man. You know, you got other dudes like, who is that? Fucking, Whack 100? Oh, pow, right? People are like, oh, he's making fucking the San Fernando Valley look bad because he's doing this and he's doing that. Charlie Holmes, don't, hey, let that vato with his fucking plugas on his face do what he does. Cause, you know what I mean? Cause today we ain't got time, right? What I'm talking about is the way that the fucking city is represented by the real ones that are out there in the concrete right now. You know, the vatos that are out there putting it down. There's a lot of Southsiders homes. There's a lot of Africano brothers. There's a lot of real ones out there, and they are to be respected because they deserve that. Just because vatos are valleros, there shouldn't be no bias. I've always had that. You know what I mean? When I was in Hawaii, it was like, yeah, are you from Sanjo? Charlie. Are you from Fresno? You know what I mean? Are you from fucking Oakland? Not that one either. Where you from? I'm from Merced. Oh, you're from the Valley, right? So the Valley has always been shitted on, you know what I mean? But guess what? Do so, Nina. Real talk, real life, man. And the 818 ain't nothing greater. Like I said, people are doing what they does, man, as Valley boys. Anyways, I just wanted to put some respect on the city of Pacoima's name, on the whole 818 and the SFV. Shout out some respect to the San Fernando Valle. You guys are out there doing it, so please, don't kill me when I go out there, because I'm going to be out there wiggling. You already know what it is. Bang, bang. With that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about going out there and struggling and striving for your familia. If you're a vallero, well, you already know what this is. This is real life, real talk, homies, by real ones that are doing it in a valley fashion. You know what I mean? If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears this crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, what is the unity of North-South, all raza coming together. You see that just went by? That was one of two things. Either that was an orb of the homeboy watching over me, or that was con un pinche demon saying, fuck you, puto. You know what I mean? Either way, I'm still here. I'm still here. The gun. Bang, bang.